Hi, this is the second part of the two-part series in which I'm showing you how to create an AR shooting app. In the first part, we downloaded Unity and ARFoundation, and I gave you an overview of how Unity works. Link to the first part is in the description below. In this video, we will create the app and deploy it on the Android and iOS devices. Before diving into Unity and getting started with creating the app, let's look at the final app and see what's actually going on inside the app. So if we break it down, three main things are happening here. Number 1, new balloons are produced after every few seconds. Number 2, the new balloons start flying. So each balloon that is produced starts flying. Number 3, when shoot is pressed, the balloon pops and produces sound and smoke. We need to import some assets in our project, such as 3D models of the balloons, the images of the crosshair and the shoot button, the smoke effect, and the pop sound. So let's open Unity and import all these things into the project folder. I already have these assets in my folder, and I will provide a link to these in the description so you can download it from there. So I'll import these one by one. First, let's import the balloon models package. Import. Then the images package. Sounds. And finally, the smoke package. Now, to add the AR behavior inside the app, we need two things in the hierarchy. So right-click in the hierarchy, XR, AR session, and the other one is XR, AR session origin. If you open the AR session origin, we have a AR camera here, which is the augmented reality camera. So we don't need the main camera, which was by default in the scene. So to delete the main camera, right-click, delete. Now let's create a code script for each of the three behaviors that we discussed. So the first one was new balloons are produced after every few seconds. So let's create a script for that. I will create a folder for all the scripts. So go to the project window, inside the assets folder, right-click, create, folder, and name this scripts. Open the folder and create the first script, create C# script. And I'll name this spawn script because this is going to spawn the balloons. Open the script by double-clicking it, and this will open in your Visual Studio Code editor. First of all, I'm going to create two arrays. Public transform array, and I'll name this spawn points. So this array will have all those points where we are going to spawn the balloons. The second one is public game object balloons. This is the array which will have the actual 3D balloon objects. We don't need this update function for this script, so I'll just delete it. Right now these arrays are empty, so let's give them some value. So as these are public, they will appear inside the Unity editor. So first of all, press Command S or Control S to save the script, or you can go to File and click on Save. Then go to the Unity editor, and to activate this script, the spawn script, we need to have this inside the hierarchy. So in the hierarchy, I will create an empty game object, right-click, create empty, press enter, and I'll name this spawn script. And while this is selected, just drag this script and drop it right here. Here you will see those two arrays that we created inside the script. And as those arrays are public, we can see them inside the Unity editor. Right now they are empty and their sizes are 0. So let's change this to 3 and make this 3 as well. Now we need to add the values here for spawn points and for balloons. So for spawn points, we need to add the points where we are going to spawn the balloons. So let's create those points in the hierarchy and the scene view. So right click in the hierarchy, create empty, press enter and name this point 1. And make sure in the inspector window, these values are set to 0, 0, 0. Similarly, create point 2, right click, create empty, point 2, similarly point 3. Now click on the spawn script object where we have our arrays and we need to fill these 3 points in this array. So just drag point 1, point 2 and point 3. Now all these 3 points are at the same position, but we don't want the balloons to spawn at the same position. So right now, if you select this move tool, it will show you where exactly each point is. So point 1, point 2 and point 3 are at origin. Let's change the position of all these points. So point 1 will be set to 1.5 in the z-axis and 0 in the x-axis. Point 2 will be set to 1.5 in the z-axis and 0.5 in the x-axis. Point 3 will be set to 1.5 in the z-axis and minus 0.5 in the x-axis. So now if I zoom in, point 1 is right here, point 2 is here, and point 3 is there. So it's right in front of the camera, approximately 1.5 meters in front of the camera. Now similarly, we have to add the values here, and here we are going to add the balloons. So inside the assets folder, open the items folder, prefabs. Here we have the balloon objects. So click on spawn script and drag each one of these right here. So balloon 1 will go here, balloon 2 will go here, and balloon 3 right here. Now we have the values inside our array and we can continue writing our code. I'll quickly write the code first and then explain it to you later. So I'll create a coroutine, start spawning, yield, return, new, wait for seconds. We'll wait for 4 seconds and then we'll spawn the 3 balloons together. For instantiate the balloons, it will have 3 arguments. The first one is what to instantiate, so it's the balloon. Second one is the position, spawn points dot position, and the third one is rotation, which is the default rotation. And then we'll again call the coroutine, start spawning, and initially we'll call this in the start function. So let me explain you what's going on here. So as soon as our scene starts, we'll call the coroutine start spawning. So we'll call this function, and in this function we'll wait for 4 seconds and then we'll spawn the 3 balloons, the blue one, the red one and the yellow one simultaneously at the 3 spawn points that we defined. And after that, we'll start the coroutine again. That is, we'll wait for 4 seconds and then spawn the 3 balloons again. So basically we'll wait for 4 seconds, spawn 3 balloons, then wait for 4 seconds again, then spawn the 3 balloons again, and wait for 4 seconds again, and so on. So we are going to have that effect which we saw in the video. But right now we are just spawning the balloons and we are not making them fly. We'll do that in another script. So let's see what this script does. First of all, go to File and save the script, or press Command or Control S. Go to the editor, click on the play button, and let's see what happens. So after 4 seconds, these 3 balloons spawn. So in the hierarchy, you can see after every 4 seconds, 3 balloons are spawning together. But they are not flying because we don't have that functionality in this script. We'll create a separate script for this. So let's do that. Now let's create the second script for making the balloons fly. So go to Scripts, right click, Create, C# script, and I'll name this Balloon Script. You can name it anything you want. Open the script. In this script, we need the update function and we don't need the start function. So let's delete that. The update function is basically called 60 times per second. So it is called once per frame. We are going to write just one line of code in this function to make the balloons fly. Transform.translate vector3.up, that is the direction, multiplied by time.delta time multiplied by 0.2f. F is for floating point numbers. This line of code moves the object just a little bit in the upward direction. So that's why we have this in the update function, because this will get executed again and again, and it will look like as if the balloon is moving up or it's flying. Save the script, go to Unity editor, and we are going to add the script, the balloon script, to each of the balloons. So go to Assets, Items, Prefabs, and click on each balloon, click on Add Component, and type in balloon script. Similarly with the second one, and the third one as well. So now if you run the project, you will see the balloons start spawning and also flying. So let's create the third and the final script, that is the shoot script. So go to Scripts, right click, Create, C# script, and I'll name this shoot script. Open it, and I'll quickly write the code first and then explain you what's going on. First of all, I'll create two public variables. Public game object, AR camera, and the second one is public game object smoke. We don't need these two functions, that is the update function and the start function. I'll create a new function and name it shoot. Inside this, I'll create a variable of type raycast hit. If physics dot raycast AR camera dot transform dot position, comma AR camera dot transform dot forward, and store it inside hit. If hit dot transform dot name equals to balloon1 clone, or I'll just copy this, hit.transform.name equals to balloon2 clone or balloon3 clone. Then we'll destroy the balloon. And instantiate the smoke. Now let me explain what this code does. When the user clicks the shoot button, this function is called, and an invisible raycast is projected from the center of the phone out in the real world, just like this one. So this is the raycast which is projecting from the center of the phone, that is through the crosshair, and it's projected in the real world. If this raycast hits a virtual object, then the result is stored inside the hit variable that we defined here. And if the name of the virtual object that was hit is balloon 1 or balloon 2 or balloon 3, then we'll destroy that particular game object. That is, if it hit balloon 1, then we'll destroy that balloon. If it hits balloon 2, we'll destroy that one, and so on. And at the same time, when the balloon is destroyed, we'll instantiate a smoke effect at that point where it was hit. Right now we don't have any shoot button to link to this function, so let's create the UI for the button. Press Command S to save the script, or Control S, then go to the editor. To create the UI, we need a canvas inside the hierarchy. So right click in the hierarchy, go to UI, Canvas. Go to the inspector window and change the UI scale mode to scale with screen size. Click on the canvas and right click, UI, button. We have a button right here, but we want this on the bottom right corner, and we want to change the image of this button. So let's do that. Click on the drop down and delete the text. Click on the button and change the properties of this button. So let's keep the size as 70 by 70. Let's give it a position of 320 and minus 120 in the y-axis. So it's right where we want it. To change the image of this button, we need to create a material using the image that we imported. So if you go to Assets, Images, we imported these two images, and to apply these images to the UI elements, we need to create a material for both these images. So let's do that. Inside the Images folder, right click, Create. We'll create a new folder and name it Materials. Open the folder, right click, Create, Material. And I'll name this Shoot Button. Go to Inspector, Legacy Shaders, Diffuse. Click on Select and choose the button. Click on Shaders again, UI, and Default. Now create the other material for the crosshair. Right click, Create, Material. Again do the same thing. Legacy Shader, Diffuse. Select the crosshair image. Go to Shader, UI, and Default. So let's change the image of this button. So click on the button and change this source image to none. Click here, none, and choose the material from here. This one. As you can see, we have this shoot button right here. It's a little small, so let's make it a little bit large. And since it is in the bottom right corner, change the anchor from here to bottom right. Now similarly, let's create the crosshair. Click on Canvas, right click, UI, Image, and choose the material as crosshair. Right now it's very big. Let's make it a little bit small. This one seems fine. Now we have the shoot button and we have the shoot function. Let's link the shoot button to this shoot function. But first of all, we need to add the script, the shoot script, inside the hierarchy, like we did to the spawn script. So inside the hierarchy, right click, create empty, and let's name this shoot script. And go to the scripts and drag the shoot script right here. Now, if you remember, we have two public variables inside the script, which is the AR camera and the smoke object. So let's assign the values to them. So for the AR camera, click on the drop down on the AR session origin and drag this AR camera right here. And for the smoke, go to assets, and we imported this smoke object, this one. So click on the shoot script and drag this smoke object right here. Now let's connect the shoot button to the shoot function inside the script. So click on the button, scroll down in the inspector, and create an onClick method by clicking on the plus button. Drag the shoot script right here and choose the function, the shoot function right here. And now it's connected. The spawn points are at the same level as the camera. We need the balloons to spawn a little bit lower than the camera or the phone. So change the Y position of each spawn point to -1. Same for this one, -1. And now let's test the project in the Unity editor. So click on the play button and wait for the balloons to spawn. And when the crosshair is on the balloon, press shoot. But it's not working. And that is because we have forgot one thing, that is the box collider. So when we shoot the balloons don't have any collider to recognize the hit. So let's quickly add the colliders to the balloons. So go to assets, items, prefabs, and for each balloon, add component, type in box collider. For the second one as well, and same for the third one. Now all the balloons have colliders and they can recognize the hit once the user press the shoot button. So play again. And we are able to shoot it. But if you notice that there is no pop sound right now, so let's add that as well. We'll add the pop sound along with the smoke game object. So go to assets, smoke, click on smoke, scroll down, add component, and type in audio source. And select the audio clip from here. Click on the balloon pop that we imported. Now let's run the app on the Android and iOS devices. First, I will build for Android. Go to File, Build Settings, and click on Add Open Scenes. This will add the scene in which we were working. Now click on Android and click on Switch Platform. So the platform is now Android. Now go to Player Settings. Click on Resolution and Presentation. And we'll make this landscape only. So uncheck the portrait. Now go to Other Settings. Uncheck the multi-threaded rendering. Give a package name. I'll just type in com.xml everything XR, which is my website, .ar shooter. Select the minimum API level as Android 7, and in the graphics API, click on Vulkan and remove it by clicking on this minus icon. Now click on build, name your build. I'll just name this AR shooter and choose where you want to save the build. I'll just save this on desktop. Click on save. This will create an APK file which you can install on your Android device. Now let's build it for iOS. Go to File, Build Settings. Click on iOS, switch platform. Go to Player Settings. Go to Resolution and Presentation. Portrait mode is unchecked. Then go to Other Settings. Change the bundle identifier to something unique. Write the camera usage description. And set the target minimum iOS version to 12.0. Change the architecture to ARM64 and build. Choose the location where you want to store it. This will create the Xcode build and you will be able to run the app on your device if you have Xcode installed. So if you don't already have Xcode, you can install Xcode from App Store, and once you have it, open the build that you created just now and double click on this icon. This will open the project in Xcode. Click on Unity iPhone. Go to Signing and Capabilities and select your team. I have my account. If you are using Xcode for the first time, you have to add an account. So add your Apple account, and after that, your account will be visible here. So as I already have my account, I'll just select this and connect your phone to your Mac using the cable, and make sure your phone is unlocked, and click here and choose your phone. Then press the play button, and this will take a couple of minutes and it will run the app on your phone. But make sure that your phone is unlocked during the whole process.